Okay, there we go. So for this one, what we would, what's the first thing we want to do if we know we have two things on this side and one thing on this side? Okay, so if we have a quadratic equation we want to solve, well, we always want 0 to be on the other side, right? So how can we make this part equal 0?
We would do positive 25.
Yeah, we would just add 25 to both sides, right? So we do plus 25 on this side, plus 25 on this side. And this cancels out. So we get 36x squared plus 60x plus 25 equals 0. All right, and now
Yes.
we have something we can factor, right? It's in the proper form. So if we want to factor this, what's our first step? We have to, make our little squares and everything, right? So what can be on the left side if we have 36 here?
We could have maybe like 6 and 6.
6 and 6. Yeah, that's a good one. And then what might be on the other side for 25?
Let me see. Wait, can we first do 6 and 10? Because I'm not sure.
Wait, 6 and 10?
Yeah.
For the left side?
No, on the right side.
6 and 10. I don't think 6 and 10 would work because we have to do factors of 25, right?
Oh, okay. Can you give me a second, please?
Yeah, sure. Just as a reminder, I wrote out the factors of 25 right here. And you can, think of what pairs make 25.
So it has to be factors of 25 and it has to add up to 60, right?
Right. Well,
Yeah.
so when we do the cross multiplication and everything, then we have to get 60 somehow.
Okay.
So our options, right, are just either 1 and 25 or 5 and 5. So which one do you want to go for?
Well, I've been looking at 60 the whole time, so. Oh, okay.
Well, just remember that, the thing on the left side, corresponds to this one here, the 36. And then the thing on the right side corresponds to the 25 on the right side. And then what we get is the thing in the middle. So we just have to look at, factors of 25. And we only have two options. We can do, the pair 1, 25, or we can do the pair 5, 5.
So we would cross multiply and then we would do 25 times 6 and 6 times 1, and then you're supposed to either subtract or add those numbers, right?
Yeah, well, let's try out 1 and 25 and see what we get.
Yeah.
So, we can have either a plus sign or a minus sign here. And then here we could have either a plus sign or a minus sign. So if you think about it, if we do 25 times 6 and then we add 6, that's going to give us a really big number that's not 60, right?
Yeah.
And next, if we try to do, like, say, minus 25 times 6, we already know that's not going to work because it's negative, and what we want is a positive number. So let's just forget about that. And so if we have something like 25 times 6 minus 6, is that going to give us 60?
No.
No, right? It's way too big. So instead of 1 and 25, let's try 5 and 5. Okay. And then let's try, well, we wouldn't want to do a negative one or a negative sign here because we don't want a negative number. So let's try positive. So what do we get if we multiply?
30.
Right, we get 30. So let's put a positive here. We get 30. And then we want to either add or subtract this number.
And we want to add
Yeah, we want to add 30. So this, what would go in here?
positive.
Positive, right? Perfect. So if we do this, we do plus 30, and we get 60. And so if we wanted to rewrite this as, our factors, what would we write?
We would write 6x plus 5
Mm-hmm.
and then 6x plus 5.
Yeah, perfect.
Can
Equals.
we also do like
Mm-hmm.
6x plus 5 and then square, or
Yeah, we
do we
could.
have to write it two
We could totally
times?
do that.
Okay.
And that's probably better because, you don't have to write as much. And so from here, we have to find our solutions, right?
Yeah,
So if we set this thing equal to 0, what do we get?
we get -6 and -5.
Wait, let's think about it one more time. So if we have 6x plus 5 equals 0, and we subtract 5 from both sides, we have 6x equals -5. So then how would we solve for x?
Oh, we would divide
Mhm.
to 6, so that would be
All right, let's divide by 6. So what do we get? X is,
-5, 6.
right, -5, 6. And that's going to be our only solution, right? Since, these two are the same thing.
Yes.
Okay, just one more thing. Let me try testing you a little bit, okay? Let's try
Uh,
something like this one. How about this one? Okay. 25x squared minus 49 equals 0. How would we do something like this one?
we would move 49 to the right, which makes it +49. So if we rewrite it, it would be 25x squared equals
Okay,
to 49.
right, that's a great way to solve it. But if we wanted to solve it using factoring, using factoring, solve this. So the question is asking, using factoring, solve this. So how would we use factoring if we to solve something like this? So as a hint, just remember that formula: x squared minus y squared equals 0. And then from there, you can maybe figure it out.
Oh, so um, kind of confused because like I'm thinking x squared minus y squared would be like x
Mm-hmm.
minus y and x plus y.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And that's how we
Oh, that's
factored it, right?
yeah.
So how would we factor something like this, which has, 5 here and then, or 25 here and then a 49 there?
We would do 25 minus 49, and then we would no 25 minus 49.
Okay, remember,
Do we have to include x squared with it, or
okay, so first let's write it out differently. So do you know what, okay, let me put to the side, do you know what this number squared is?
do you want me to like factorize it or like solve it?
Just if you multiply 5x by itself, what do you get?
Oh, 25.
What about the
I
x?
don't really get what you're saying.
So if you multiply 5x by itself, what do you get?
I would get 25x squared.
25x squared, right?
Yes.
So if we have something like this, then how would we factor it? If I write it
Oh,
again as this, it might make more sense. So if we have 5x squared, and do you know what the square root of 49 is?
No. Would it be like 7?
Yeah, it's 7. So minus this thing squared. So if we just rearrange it like this, we can notice that it's in the same exact form, right? We have something squared minus something squared, something squared minus something squared. So how do we factor that then?
So would we do the one like 5x minus 7 and 5x plus 7?
Exactly.
Okay.
5x plus 7 equals 0. And then from here, how do we solve for our solutions?
We so 7. Wait, no. We would do 7 divided by 5x, right?
Well, first of all, the first thing you always want to do if we have something like this is write it out. So either we have 5x minus 7 equals 0, or we have 5x plus 7 equals 0. So this is what you always want to do, okay? And then just think of this as case 1 and then think of this as case 2. Okay, so in case 1, how do we solve for x?
We would do -5 and then plus 7.
5? Well, this is 5x, so we don't want to add 5. We just want to add 7, like you said. So let's add 7 to both sides, and we get 5x equals 7, right?
Yes.
So then how do we solve for x?
We would then divide 7 divided by 5x.
Well, we don't want to divide by the whole thing, right? We just want to
Yeah.
divide by 5. So we do 7 over 5, and that's one solution. Do you think you can do this one?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
It would be 5x equals -7. And then we would do -7/5.
Right, perfect. Oops, -7/5. Okay, and if we just want to write it using that bracket thing, we would just put -7/5 and then +7/5. And that's how we would get the solutions. Okay, great. Do you think you could do something like this one? Let's do 4. Okay, I'll just use r minus 9 equals 0 and solve by factoring. I'll keep this one up. So do you think you could do something like this?
I'll try.
Okay, go ahead. Well, just know, yeah, I'll just keep this up here so you can look at it.
So I would turn it into 4r2 r square minus 3 square.
Minus 3 squared. And
And
then
then I would do 2r minus 3, and then 2r plus 3.
right. And then just equals 0. Okay, perfect. So from here, what do we want to do? We want to write out the two things, right?
So it would be 2r equals 3.
Or just 2r minus 3 equals 0, and then 2r
And then,
equals 3.
yeah,
And then what do we get for r?
r would be, so we're supposed to divide 3 and 2, right?
Right, we just want to divide both sides by 2. So let me divide this by 2 and divide this by 2. Then we just get r equals 3 over 2.
Yeah.
And then what would be on the right side here?
It would be 2r plus 3 equals 0.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2r equals
Mm-hmm.
-3.
Yeah, perfect.
And then it'll be negative 3 3 2.
Right. So r is just minus 3 over 2. And again, if we want to write it out like this, we can. 3 over 2. And that would be our solution. Okay, great. And okay, I don't know if you've learned something like this, but let's do one more, okay?
Okay.
So this one. All right, what's your favorite number?
I'll just do 10, I
Okay.
guess.
So we have something like this. X squared equals 10x. So how do we do something like that?
We would do, we would x2. Oh, wait. So do you want me to factorize?
Right, so if we want to factor something, what's the first thing we want? We want the right side to be 0, right?
Yeah.
So how can we get the right side to be 0?
We would do minus 10.
Minus 10x?
Yeah. And then we would add, so the equation would be x squared minus 10x. Yeah.
Right, equals 0. So from here, how can we factor this?
Yes, we can.
Sure we can. So what would we factor out?
We would factor out x.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be x parentheses x minus 10.
Right, equals 0. And then from here, how would we find our solutions? So it's just like before, except we have this. So what would be on the left side?
The left side would just be x.
X, just x? If we multiply this by this, we get 0. And this is case 1, and this is case 2. So one or the other has to equal
0.
0. So what would go on the left side then?
The left side would be minus 0.
Minus 0?
Not really sure what you're talking about.
Okay, so let's look back at our previous ones, right? So what did we do? We said either this part equals 0 or this part equals 0. And that's because
Yes.
when we multiplied them, we got 0. So it's exactly the same thing here, except we have x and x minus 10. So either this one equals 0 or this one equals 0. So in that case, what should we write on the left side?
Equals 0.
X equals 0. And what will we write on the right side?
It would be well, it be like negative? No, it wouldn't be negative x, right?
So just like we did before, let's look at this one. So remember here, all we did was we copied this here and said it's equal to 0. All we did here was we copied this and said it was equal to 0. Why is that? It's because this whole thing times this whole thing gave us 0. So the only case where we can get 0 by multiplying two things is if one or the other is 0, right?
Yes.
So all we did was that. And then from here, what we're saying is we multiplied these two things and we got 0. So that means either this equals 0 or this equals 0. So in that case, what should we write on the right side?
Well, I'm kind of confused because like above there's like two numbers, so I'm confused what you put with one term.
So, so it doesn't really matter how many things there are here, right? All that matters is you can just think of it as a huge little, like a huge block, okay? And if we have this block, then let that equal to 0. Let this block equal to 0. It's exactly the same here. Let this block equal 0. Let this block equal 0. So we're just thinking of it as a product, right, of two things. Doesn't matter how many terms the thing might have. It could have like x 3x minus 5x plus 10 minus 2, whatever. As long as it's in this one block, we let it equal to 0. So it's exactly the same thing here, right? Does that make sense? I can try explaining it a different way if it doesn't.
It doesn't really.
So do you understand this part?
Yes.
Okay, so can you try explaining this to me then? Like, what did we do?
Well, first I would do 2, since I know that r minus 3 equals 0, I would then transfer 3 to the right by adding,
Exactly.
and then I would do 2r divided by no, is it 3r divided by 2r, or is it 2r divided by 3?
So in this case, all I did was we divided by 2 on both sides, right? Because we want to
Oh
keep,
yeah.
that's what we're solving for. Okay, but why did we set this equal to 0?
Why?
Does it have something to do with the right side being 0?
Oh. What do you mean? What do you mean? Like, why? Do I have to explain how it's 0?
So when we split it like this, how did we know that this was 0, and how did we know that this was 0? Why are we setting it equal to 0 anyway?
Because we needed like sure.
Okay, so it's because their product is 0, right?
Yes.
So that must mean either this is 0 or this is 0, okay?
Yeah.
So if we have something like, we have two numbers, let's call them A and let's call them B. So if we multiply these two numbers, if we get 0, what does that mean? It means either A equals 0 or B equals 0.
Oh, okay.
Or else, we can't possibly get 0. Are we going to get 0 if A is 5 and B is 5? No. Are we going to get 0 if A is 1 and B is -1? No. We're never going to get 0 unless either A is 0 or B is 0. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, great. So knowing that, that's why we've been doing this all along. That's why we've been factoring. That's why we've been separating it into this one term. Let's call this A. Let's call this B. Oh my God, my voice cracked. Let's call this A and let's call this B. That's why we've been factoring this whole time. It's so we can split into two easier things, so we can know for sure that either A is 0 or B is 0. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, great. Now we know, why we've been doing this all along, right? So knowing that, do you think you can tell me what would go on the right side here?
On the right side, it would be, well, it would be x minus what? Well, I would do x equals 10.
Yeah, x equals 10, or just x minus 10 equals 0, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So then this one is already solved, x equals 0. This one, all we have to do is add 10 to both sides and we get x equals 10. And that's it, right? Our solutions. Either x equals 0 or x equals 10.
Okay.
Okay, hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
All right, great. Do you want to do one more?
Sure.
All right, let's do, you said you like the number 10, right?
Yes.
Then let's do this one. 10. Okay, let's do j. J squared equals minus 5j.
We would do we would add 5j
Mm-hmm. To
and
both
then it
sides.
would j square
Mm-hmm.
plus j.
Plus 5j equals.
15j cubed.
Wait, so we added 5j to both sides and we got 0, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, no worries. So if we
I
add,
thought you meant something else.
yeah, if we well, okay, if we added these two, we wouldn't get something like that, right?
Yeah.
Because these are different. Okay, so from here, can you see something that both of these have in common?
They both have common in 5j.
5j, right? So how would we factor that out then?
It would be 2j plus 1.
Plus 1, perfect. Okay, so again, we have these two terms, right? Let's call it A and B or whatever you like. So if their product is 0, what do we know?
We would know that 5j equals 0.
Mm-hmm. And then we'll go on the right side.
It would be 2j plus 1,
Mm-hmm.
and then 2j equals negative 1.
Right, so let's write 2j plus 1 equals 0, okay?
Okay.
And then we can solve it. So, well, do you want to do the left side first since it's a little easier?
Okay.
So what would we want to divide by both sides to isolate?
5.
Right, so let's divide by 5. Then what do we get?
We get, is it just 0?
Yeah, just 0. J is 0.
Okay.
Simple. So this one, you were saying 2j is minus 1, right?
Yes.
So how do we get j then?
We will divide 2 by each side.
Mm-hmm. So then we get
Negative half.
negative 1/2. Perfect. And you're done. It was simple as that. Okay. I think you're getting really good at this. Let me look for a good one. Let's see. Um, okay, let's look at this one. Let's review some of the stuff we did before. How about 3 x squared minus 20x plus 12 equals 0. So how do we factor something like that?
Can we first,
Mhm.
oh, we're gonna do that. Because I was thinking that we should do 3.
Mhm.
It would be 3 parentheses x squared minus, oh, never mind, 20 is not multiples
Mhm.
of 3. Okay,
Right.
so it would be 3, 1 and 3.
Mhm. 1 and 3.
And maybe we could do
Yeah, this is kind of a tricky one. So many
oh
options.
2 and 6.
2 and 6. Okay, so should the 2 go on the top or should the 6 go on the top?
2 on the top.
Okay, 6. All right, this looks good. So what should the signs be? Let's try multiplying everything out.
Oh, it would be 2 and 18. So the 2 would be a positive, and a 6 would be the positive 2.
Wait, are you sure though? Look back at the equation.
Oh, it's negative 20. Oh, okay. So it would be negative 2 and negative 6.
Yeah, perfect. So let's convert that into our factors. So what do we get?
We would get 3x
Mm-hmm.
minus 2
Mm-hmm.
and x minus 6.
Yeah, equals. Okay, so from here, what do we have to do?
We would then do 3x minus 2 equals 0.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be 3x equals 2,
Mm-hmm.
which would be 2/3.
Right, so let's divide by 3, and we get x equals 2/3. And then what's on the right side?
On the right side, it would be x minus 6 equals 0.
Mm-hmm. Equals 0. And then, so how would we solve for x?
We would do x x equals 6.
Right, perfect. So those are our solutions. And, we could always do it like this. 2/3, 6. Okay, it seems like you're getting really good at this. Oh, let's do a hard one, okay? Here it is. 2r plus 5, 3r squared minus 16r plus 5 equals 0. Okay, how would we do something like this? So what do you notice about this big thing?
Um, what do you mean I know this?
So do you think this can be factored again?
No.
Well, why not? We can always, well, yeah, why not?
Do you mean like simplify?
Yeah, like how we did before, right? It's like the same form, right?
Oh, okay, never mind. So it would be 3 and 1.
Okay, let's do it like 3 and 1. And what goes on the right?
It would be 1 on the top and 5 on the bottom.
1 on the top and 5 on the bottom. Okay, so what would the signs be?
They would be -1 and -5.
Okay, so if we convert this into our thing, how would we write it out?
Be it would be 3r minus 1
Mm-hmm.
and r minus 5.
Right, perfect. Now what happens to this? Do we just keep it?
No, we would then do 3r minus 1 equals 0.
Right, but remember we had this here, right? All we did was we
Oh,
factored.
we would have to put 2r plus 5 on the side.
So we would, keep it there, right? Because this
Yeah.
is just the same as this. These are equal. And then that equals 0. Okay, now what do we do?
Can you repeat that question, please?
So how would we how would we get our solutions? If we have 3 things instead of 2.
We would do the same thing, right?
Yeah, we would do the exact same.
Okay, so 2r plus 5 equals 0.
Mm-hmm.
And then it would be 2r equals -5.
Mm-hmm.
And then it would be -5 halves.
Right. And then what goes in the middle?
It would be 3r minus 1 equals 0.
Mhm. And then
And
what do we
then we
start off?
would do 3r equals 1.
Mhm.
And then we would divide each side by 3. And then it's going to be 1/3.
Right. R is 1/3. And then what about the last one?
Last one would be r minus 5 equals 0.
Mhm.
And then we would do r equals 5.
Yeah. And then we're done, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we can always write it out again. Minus 5/2, 1/3, 5. And then we found all the solutions. Okay, great. Oh wait, do you have any other questions like of your own, or should we like solve some more of these?
I think I got them.
Okay. Let's. Do you know how to do? Okay, this one looks kind of tricky. X cubed minus x squared minus 6x equals 0. Okay, so do you notice that any of these have a term in common?
They all have x.
Yeah, so what can we do? We can factor out x.
Yes. So it would be x parentheses
Mhm,
x squared
mhm,
minus x
mhm.
minus 6.
Yeah, perfect. Equals 0. So from here, do you notice anything suspicious about this?
Um, Not really.
Really nothing?
I don't get what you're really talking about.
Could we factor this?
Do you mean like simplify again?
Yeah, could we factor it?
Oh, it would be 1 and 1, and then it would be 3 and 2,
Okay, what would the signs be?
and then it would be positive 3 and negative 2.
If we do that, what do we get? Minus 2 plus
Oh,
3.
yeah, minus 2 plus 3,
And what does that give us?
negative 1.
Are you sure?
Oh,
Minus 2.
if we put 2 first. So in order to put 2 first, do we have to put on top?
Yeah, so what should the sign?
Oh, it would be 2 on the top and 3 on the bottom.
Oh, yeah, we could do that. Or we could just switch the signs, right? So it's like
Oh, yeah.
minus and plus. So then we would have 2 minus 3.
Oh, okay.
Or we could do the same thing. Or like you said, we could always switch the numbers. It's the exact same thing. Anyway, so if we do that, what do we get?
It would be x minus 3 and x plus 2.
Right, so let's write out the entire thing one more time. So it would be x times,
X, yeah,
mhm,
minus 3 and then x plus 2.
okay, gotcha. And then that equals 0. All right, so from here, what should we do then?
We should do x minus 3 equals 0.
Uh-huh.
And then we could do x equals 3.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the answer.
That's it?
Do you have to divide x?
Wait, what about these two?
Oh, oh,
What
yeah.
about these
I
guys?
was just saying that's it for that.
Oh, gotcha. No, okay.
Yeah.
My bad.
And then x equals 0.
X equals 0.
And then x plus 2 equals 0. And then x equals negative 2.
Okay, perfect. So these are our solutions. -2, 0, 3.
Yeah, it's easier now.
Yay, awesome. Wait, what were we doing before? Okay. Let's do one last pop quiz question. Okay, let's do this one. 9y cubed minus 49y equals 0.
It would be, since this is cubed, the formula is different, right?
Well, we would think that, but remember how if it's something cubed. Okay, well, first of all, let's test it out. So what would something like 3y cubed be?
Wait, can't we simplify? So it'd be 9y squared minus 49.
Yeah, let's do that then. So how would we do that? We have to factor something out.
We factor y.
Okay. What do we have left?
It would be 3y squared minus. So it would be 3
3. Where did the 3 come from?
Oh, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I was saying not root of 9. So it would be 9y squared.
Wait, but why
Well,
are we
9y squared.
right?
And then 9y squared minus
Mhm.
49.
Right, perfect. Equals 0. Okay, so now from here, what can we do with this? Does this look a little familiar?
Yes.
Okay.
So it would be, let me think this.
Go ahead.
So factors would be, so it would, can we first put 9? Or,
Do
because,
you remember this?
yeah. Oh, I thought we were doing the cross multiplication thing.
Well, we couldn't possibly do that because we don't have a thing in the middle, right?
Oh, okay. So it would be 9y squared plus, no, 9y squared minus 49 and 9y squared plus 49.
Wait, let's write this out one more time. Let's okay. Remember when we did this?
Yeah,
What was 3y whole thing squared again?
3y squared minus 7 squared.
Yeah, exactly. 7 squared. Okay, now in that case, what can we can use this formula, right? So how would we use the formula?
It would be um 3y squared minus 7 squared and then 3y squared plus 7 squared.
Well, you're so close, but you know how here it says x squared and then here it just says x?
Yes.
So instead of 3y,
Oh, so it would just be 3 minus 7 and 3 plus 7.
well, we can't forget the y, right?
Oh, so okay, my bad. So it would be 3y plus 7
Mhm.
and then 3y minus 7.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, now from here, what should we do?
It would be 3y plus 7 equals 0.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't muted. It would be
Mm-hmm.
3y equals -7,
Mm-hmm.
and then it would be 7/3, -7/3.
Okay, cool. Alrighty, now what?
Sorry, I was muted again. So it would be
Mm-hmm.
just y equals 0,
Mm-hmm. And
and
then
then it would be 3y minus 7 equals 0, and then it would be 3y equals 7, and then it would be 7/3.
right. So here are our solutions. -7/3, 0, 7/3. Okay, perfect. It looks like we have just enough time to do maybe one more. How about something? Let's do something different, like this one. Okay. So for this one, the thing is, since it's in this form, like x squared plus something else squared, I think our best bet here would be just to multiply everything out, okay? So if we multiplied everything out, what would we get?
What do you mean multiplied out?
How do you multiply out x plus 1 squared?
Um, it would just be. I'm not actually really sure what you're talking about.
Do you know how to do x plus y squared?
Yes. Well,
What's that?
I still haven't remembered the formulas,
Okay, make sure
but
you remember this,
yeah.
okay? X squared plus 2xy plus y squared.
Oh, I remember.
Okay, great. Just make sure you know this. So it's a lot easier when you run into something like this and you're not too sure what to do, then you can try doing this. So using that formula, how would we, get something like this?
Get like the. So do we attach? We would use the formula with x squared.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really sure.
So it's exactly the same, except in this case, we have a 1 instead of a y, right?
Yes.
So what should that mean? That means we just have to replace every y with a 1.
Okay, so it'd be x squared plus 2x, and then plus 1 square, or
Mm-hmm.
just 1.
Right. And let's do the exact same thing for the right side. And what do we get?
We would get x squared plus 4xy, and then we would get 4.
4xy. Wait, could
Or
you
would
do that
we
one time?
just include that? Oh, no, never mind. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
It would just be 4x, and then plus 4.
Right, perfect. Okay, remember the formula, okay? I'm gonna put it. What's your favorite color?
Blue.
Blue. This one?
Sure.
Okay. Remember this, okay? It's in your favorite color. Now you have to remember it.
Okay.
Anyway, so now we have this thing and this thing. So do you think we could make it simpler. So how do we, we want to get 0 on the right side. So how do we get that?
I'm not really sure how to get 0. Would
So
we just do minus x squared minus x squared minus 2x and minus 1?
So if we want 0 on the right side, then we want everything here to be canceled. So we do minus x squared minus 4x minus 4. And then we get 0, right?
Yes.
This and this cancel, this and this cancel, this and this cancel. So
Okay.
we can't just do that on the left side. So we have to do the same thing or we can't just do that on the right side. So we do the same thing on the left side. So what would have to be on the left side?
Well, there's nothing to be canceled on the left side.
Yeah, but we did all this on the right side. Can we just do that to the right side?
No.
No, right? So we want to do exactly the same thing to the left side, right?
Yeah, so we would cancel x squared.
Okay, let's just write it out first.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Oh, so you just combine them?
Combine
I
what?
don't really get how or why you do that.
You don't get why we subtracted from both sides?
Oh, now I understand.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay.
So this cancels, this cancels, this cancels, this cancels, this cancels.
Yeah.
We did all that just so we could get 0 on the right side.
Oh, okay.
And we did the same thing to the left side.
So we would cancel x squared.
Right, we would cancel x squared. And so what would we have left?
We would have x squared plus 2x plus 1 minus 4x minus 4.
Right. And then what do we get?
Um, would we do the so would it be split into x squared and then 2x plus 1 and then 4x minus 4, right?
No, well, we have to first notice we have something with x and something with x in it. And we have just two numbers lying around. We have to combine them, right?
Oh, okay. So it would be -3 and -2x.
X squared minus 2x minus 3 equals 0, right?
Yes.
Okay, so now what can we do?
Now we could do 1 and 1 and 3 and 1.
1, 1, 3, and 1. And what would the signs be?
It would be -3 and plus 1.
Right, so then we get plus 1 minus 3. Okay, perfect. So how can we rewrite this?
It would be x minus 3 and x plus 1.
X plus 1. Okay, and now how would we get our solutions?
The solution would be x minus 3 equals 0, and then x equals 3.
Right, x equals 3. And then
And then we would do x plus 0 equals, but x plus 1 equals 0. And then it would be x equals -1.
right. So we have these two. We can always, write it like this. All right, cool. Okay, hopefully that was a little helpful. But before I leave, I have one last thing.
Yeah.
How do we do this? how would we multiply it out?
Oh, it would be x minus 1, x plus y.
Wait, are you sure?
Yeah, I'm wrong.
Wait, let me do it like this. X minus y squared. All right, what's the top and what's the bottom? Wait, this is wrong. Whoops, my bad. Or wait, actually, this is pretty good. X minus y squared.
Oh no, I'm just really confused.
About the formula?
Oh, okay. And the x plus y, and then x minus y and x minus y.
Yeah, but if we just leave it like that, it's not really going to help us because we want it, all multiplied out. So what would we get if we multiplied this by this?
It would be 2x plus 2y.
Remember, I told you it was in your favorite color. You have to memorize it. Do you remember this?
Oh yeah, 2x squared plus 2xy plus y squared.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to
You
start
get y.
memorizing that.
You get y though?
Yeah.
Okay, it's because, if we do the whole FOIL method, we get x squared plus xy plus another xy plus y squared. That just gives us x squared plus 2xy plus y squared. And that's what we remember because we don't want to do that method every single time. So this is what we remember.
Okay.
Just like say it to yourself 10 times before you go to sleep or something. And then
Okay.
in this one, it's exactly the same thing, except minus 2xy plus y squared. So remember this one too. All right. Did you write it down?
Oh, sorry, I was muted again. On my homework, there is a chart and it tells you all the formulas.
Okay. Make sure you memorize them, all right?
Okay.
All righty. Thank you for coming.
All right. Bye. Thank
Good
you.
night. Bye.